Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another street podcast. However, as you may hear, this is the first English podcast that I make. So, yeah, I recorded this podcast earlier. However, the recording was on the other side, so you were not seeing me, you were just seeing what I was seeing, so it wasn't right. Well, but the focus of this podcast is mainly nutrition and sport. Right, so I'm going to talk a little bit of why and how, a little bit of my story. People that know me already know, and I have mentioned here and there on some videos, on the Spanish ones mainly, I guess. But I was a fat kid, a pretty fat kid, like size small, maybe medium, even large, depending on the shirts and the type of sizes. For adults is what I used to use when I was like probably from like 7 years old up to like 11, maybe even 12. But what happened is I was into different sports, mainly due to my parents telling me to go to try out some sports and stuff like that. But I didn't take care of my nutrition, so that obviously made me not be able to be thinner and be healthier, because I was eating just junk food and whatever came to mind. However, everything changed probably when I was around like 12, 13, which was when I started changing some habits. However, I didn't understand many things. I just knew like protein comes from eggs, and try to eat healthy, and for some reason eat tuna. That's it, right? Like no explanation, no nothing. It was just that. Well, I was in probably swimming. I was into basketball, into soccer. I probably tried taekwondo. I probably tried, what else? I don't know, I tried many sports. And from those sports, let's see, tennis also. But from all of those sports, I just got some liking to the sports, but never actually tried to be like an athlete or actually take into consideration my health. It started probably when I started doing CrossFit, which was probably when I was like 11, and doing that I got a lot of upper body strength, my back, my arms, my grip, stuff like that actually got me pretty strong. Not jacked, because I was not like way too big in that sense, but I got big arms, for at least for what I had before, obviously, which I had just fat arms, which are big but not strong. And that's how it kind of started. But even though I didn't know much about it, I just tried to kind of eat healthy, and that was it. I kind of started to get into the habit of doing a lot of exercise. I was doing probably like 6 times a week, just with one rest day, doing a lot of conditioning. I had a lot of strength, a lot of grip, some flexibility. I wouldn't say I was too flexible. I just was strong and agile enough to do what I wanted to do, but not completely, right? So what I ended up doing was what is that? I don't know. What I ended up doing was just trying to stick to something. I stick to a pretty rigorous training program, which was by the Top Brothers, parkour figures. Obviously, as I had mentioned before, parkour is something that is my passion and something that I like to do. And I started that 10 years ago when I was 12. That also helped me. But after that, I got strong, very strong. But even for that, I didn't have a complete plan. I just kind of, I'm gonna try to eat healthy, do exercise, and that's it. I didn't know what anything had to do with anything. I just saw myself getting stronger and thinner, or at least like leaner. And that's it. I didn't know what was happening, why it was happening. And it just happened. However, later on, when I was like 20, which was kind of when the pandemic started, is when I started to understand better what it meant. One, because I wanted to better myself, and two, because I started to get into the kind of a fitness industry side of YouTube, which I had some basic knowledge on some things, and with that I kind of navigated like which YouTubers were bullshitters and which ones were legit. And managing through that, I kind of gathered enough information to try and apply to myself. Obviously, not being an expert, I still had a lot of things to improve, but I understood the basics of energy expenditure, of calories, how calories in, calories out, how much calories I was consuming, how much I was using. And basically that was kind of like the baseline. Then I started to see that I needed protein, and also that I needed to kind of eat healthy. And what I started to do was to look up in the internet, like, okay, I started to Google, like, okay, how much calories does a ham sandwich with one slice of tomato and spinach has? I don't know, this many calories. Okay, how much a glass of milk and 2 sandwiches has of calories? Well, obviously not all together, like how much is the milk by itself, how much is one sandwich. I just multiply that by 2, and I checked also like how much calories does like 3 eggs and ham have, how much calories does a chicken breast have. And I was doing all that, and basically that was my diet for probably like a month, and it did help me. I understood some things. However, that fucked up my digestive system. I kind of went on the bad side of that, not to the point of melting myself, to put it in a way, but it did got pretty bad. And then I was offered to eat some seafood, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna make my stomach explode, because I mean, seafood and feeling bad, it's not a good combination. And guess what? It actually fixed me. Turns out that what I needed was a variety of foods and good balance of food, which was something that I understood later, because I actually consulted a nutritionist, especially a nutritionist based on sport, or at least like focused on sport. So she helped me to better understand like how much I needed to consume of protein, how much I needed to consume of carbohydrates, how much fat I needed to consume, which basically are the 3 main macronutrients. Obviously you have micronutrients, which are like vitamins and stuff like that. I'm not going to get all into everything, but basically, as I had said before in other podcasts and videos, if you need professional help, get it. Obviously have some sense to estimate which professional is better suited for you. For example, one way that I saw that my nutritionist was going to actually help me is that she said, and I quote, "My goal is not to keep you as a client forever. My goal is for me to guide you enough so that you can take your own nutritional journey and you can understand how to feed yourself so that you don't need me anymore." When I heard that, I was like, definitely, this is a professional nutritionist that is actually trying to help me. Because as in many industries, if somebody wants to keep you as a client forever, I mean, unless it's something that needs to constantly be provided, obviously. But if not, the fact that they tell you, okay, I'm here to help you, but I'm not here to stay forever, I'm here to guide you so that you take the right path. That's a good marker to know that the professional is actually thinking of you, right? So I thank her very much. She's Paula Llaguno. I think that's how it's pronounced. She's from Mexico City. Big ups to her. Maybe later I will be able to have her in a podcast. It would be great, but we will see. Okay, so getting back to the general process. Obviously, you need to kind of understand what you have to do to actually get to the point, right? So it took me some time. I was just kind of wandering off onto what I wanted to do, what I didn't want to do. At the end, I understood what I needed to do. I had to cut fat. I had to gain muscle. That's where my journey began. Kind of way more seriously, instead of just wandering off into nothingness, right? So with this in mind, I obviously took big leaps in time because I don't want to take too much into this. But recently I also started to take a certification, kind of one is a diploma, another one is a certificate for personal training and for nutrition, at least nutrition focused on sport, which is something that I like. And that's helping me to understand and know a little bit more about these things. And I'm not claiming to be an expert. However, I'm just trying to guide people into the right path. And obviously, it's kind of is the idea of the channel for the self-improvement journey. Spiritual health, mental health, and physical health, all three are pretty important for this, because obviously mental health overall is good, is needed, because that's your inner part. The physical health is on the outside, but it's also how you run your body, and obviously it's kind of your vehicle. If your physical body is not right, obviously it will affect you. Everything is interconnected. And obviously, spiritually talking, everyone has their own faith and their own beliefs, but it's also part of guidance of what you need to do, because you may be good mentally and physically, in the sense of, okay, you're not having any struggles, you're good, you're fine. However, maybe you're feeling a sense of void because you think you follow the nihilism philosophy, which is nothing has meaning, and that can lead you astray, because then you may think that, okay, nothing has meaning, therefore I shouldn't be trying to improve things, so I should just stay here and not improve. But obviously it does take into account. I've said this many times before. I don't hide it. I'm a Catholic, and yeah, that's my belief. However, I don't impose it into anybody. I just share it so that people know. And yeah, that's kind of my journey of how I started into that. Obviously, it's not so straightforward. I obviously had leaps in time. I'm just repeating myself here, but that's kind of what I wanted to get to, like how much people may be misinformed. Because I mean, this may sound basic to me. It may sound advanced for somebody else that doesn't know even a little bit. For me, that I've tried to study and learn, I know that I know basically way too little to actually try and help somebody. I mean, I can try and help, like in the basic sense, but I'm not an expert. I'm trying to become somebody experienced, maybe not an expert, but I've heard people, and even in the fitness industry, for example, in YouTube, when I said differentiating between the bullshitters and the people that actually help. 3 people that actually help that I can recommend you. It's Jeff Nippert, Vitruvian Physique, and who is the other guy? I forgot the name. It's Jeff Nippert, Vitruvian Physique, and I have it. I don't know. On the meantime, I just remember those 2. I'm sure there was another one, but I don't remember. Well, Vitruvian Physique, Jeff Nippert, and Shredded Sports Science. Shredded Sports Science is more of a, he kind of does more comical stuff. Not in the sense that he's doing necessarily skits, but he's analyzing all the bullshit in the fitness industry. Things like fake supplements that don't do anything, people that just try to shield fake programs that won't help you, or try to sell you cookie cutter stuff that won't actually be personalized for what you need to do. And well, that's what happens. So yeah, Jeff Nippert, is science-based. Obviously, the 3 are science-based. They study that a lot, and they are part of it. However, Jeff Nippert, I think, goes way into depth into things. Vitruvian Physique, I like him a lot because he takes like different things. He may not go so in depth in the sense of like consulting other experts and stuff like that Jeff Nippert does, but he has good information. And Shredded Sports Science, he normally looks at studies. I mean, for what he critiques, he reads studies and different studies and is focused on that. So those 3 I can recommend like highly. And yeah, that's for the ones I recommend. I won't mention the ones I don't because there's just way too many. But to give you an idea, there was this video of a girl that was promoting these weightless bicep curls. Bicep curls are these ones that you normally have a weight and you curl the bicep. You go like this, right? So she was promoting weightless, without any weight, any resistance. And she supposedly was promoting, yeah, if you do this weightless exercise, you're gonna be better. But what happens with that is you actually don't. You just move your body, but you're not actually putting any resistance, so it won't help you grow muscle or actually be any stronger. It would just keep you active in a way, but it won't actually do anything. I mean, for the time invested, it's completely and totally a waste of time. So don't do that type of stuff. Also, people that say like, oh yeah, for example, I don't know, what's your body type? How much do you weigh? What's your height? What's your sex? And they give you a program, and it's like, yeah, follow this program and you will be shredded, or you will be better. And I mean, if it's for maybe beginners or something like that, yeah, it may help. But the problem with this is that when being a beginner, you can do basically anything if you have the patience and discipline and get results. But once you get past the beginner stage and you actually want to take it a little bit more seriously, not necessarily to be an athlete, but to have a lifestyle that is more based into the healthy side, you gain habits that will be detrimental to your journey, right? So that's the problem. You can start and see progress, but those bad habits will add up in the end. So it's better to better understand that part. And what else? Yeah, I guess my overall point is I'm trying to help people that maybe don't know that much to understand it more. I'm not saying everybody has to be an expert, but at least to have a little bit of knowledge about this. Because I heard one day when I went out with friends, I heard one girl that was in the group, and she said like, oh yeah, I'm doing yoga and I'm eating carbohydrates and salads, and with that I want to tone my body, but I don't want to get bigger. And inside me, like, my knowledge was running, and I was a little bit not fuming for at her, but fuming at the sense of like how much little people know and how they can be easily tricked. And all I could say was, yeah, yoga is gonna help you like tone because it's flexibility and obviously stability. And even before I could say anything, she was like, okay, great, then I'll keep doing yoga. And I wanted to say more about like protein, the nutritional side of it, and she didn't hear me. So yeah, it's obviously it's kind of sad to see how much regular people don't know that much about it, which is an essential part, not just for you, but for your family, your loved ones. If you have sons, your sons, daughters, your offsprings in general, if you will have a family or have a family, the ones surrounding you, it's better to know so you can give them guidance. So with this rambling I've done that I call a podcast, I finished the first English podcast for the HuMan channel, and I think that would be it. Thanks for listening. And well, I'm HuMan. On this self-improvement journey, find your own way and take matter into your own hands. Because if you don't, nobody else will do it for you. So I will be seeing you in the next one. See ya.